Hello and welcome back to another episode at the Stage Door on Rogers TV, presented by Canberra Arts. It's a real treat this week as we start to talk about the Off-Broadway Players' upcoming community musical. This fall, Groundhog Day is coming early. Hopefully that doesn't mean winter starts early and goes on longer. But the Off-Broadway Players are presenting Groundhog Day by Tim Minchin, based off the Bill Murray movie of the same name, and I'm here with some of the cast and the director of that show. So welcome to the Stage Door, folks.
Thank you.
It's great to have you, and great, as always, to talk about the community musical. Community theatre is so important in Corner Brook. It's an opportunity for people to take the stage for the first time. It's an opportunity for a community to rejoin together in many cases, and a great opportunity for an audience to discover a show that they may not have known about. And I think Off-Broadway Players has done a great job of introducing some shows to the region. So Meaghan, we'll start a little bit with you. Of course, you work with Canberra Arts, but this year you decided to put your name in the hat for the volunteer position of directing the Off-Broadway Players community musical. What
daunting at
led
all.
you to that decision?
I was done grad school and finally had a fall where I wasn't doing classes and am allergic to having downtime. No, I had a few ideas for shows and then was looking through, and the OBP asked, extended submissions, asked for resubmissions, and I was looking through for something that looked fun, and found Groundhog Day, listened to some of the music, and I'm fairly new to the OBP world. I did Rumors back in 2017, 18? Thank you. And then didn't touch it until American Idiot, which was 2 years ago. And then also did that was kind of me coming back into it. And I was like, oh, I missed this. I missed being a part of productions in this way. I've done a lot of production admin and marketing and getting into stage management. So I guess I'm going for filling my bingo card, and I hadn't directed a musical yet. So.
Small endeavor, just a little tiny little thing.
Take that little thing, check it off.
Well, from what I've heard from inklings of the cast, sounds like things are going very well. So that's great, great for you in building a great community space.
The great thing with Groundhog Day is, as we go through and block it, I go, cool, we're in the diner again. Everyone do the same thing, and then Nick will do weird stuff and react accordingly. But otherwise, don't change what we've already done. So that's been fun. Yeah,
I guess it is a bit of a unique challenge in that way, in that things must be so identical for the most part that our audience feels that, that we see the distinct things that show us that it's the same day, and show Nick's character, Phil, that he is reacting to this and it changes that day, that day's path.
Normally an instinct like that kind of rule of three of every time you come back to the next part of the joke, you're escalating it or making it different or making it bigger. And early on, I remember saying okay, everyone except for Phil, you can't get bigger. So however big you want to make it now, that's great. But you can't escalate it from there because it's the same day, and for you do a full hard reset, versus Nick as Phil being the only one who has that kind of continuous memory of the repeats.
Yeah, well, certainly sounds quite exciting. Before we dive further into the specifics of the show, we'll talk a little bit with each of our cast members that are here. So Terri-Lynn, you joined the community theatre stage a while ago now, and you haven't left.
I didn't.
So what drew you to theater and to musical theater?
So I have had zero background growing up. I was not involved. My last school experience, I guess, was the grade 6 nativity play where I played the angel. Still remember my lines. And my first production I ever saw locally in Corner Brook was Cabaret. And I remember watching people up on the stage, coworkers, and going, wow, I wish I could do that. And that kind of festered for a little while. 2019, I accompanied Kira to a Cambridge Arts production in Woody Point, and some of the adult performers and parents were out later that evening, and we were talking, and I mentioned to somebody, you know, I really wish I could do that, and they were like, why don't you? And at that point, I kind of realized that the only thing stopping me was me. So later that summer, when Off-Broadway Players put out the audition call for the ensemble for Rock of Ages, I decided to go. I went all by myself. I didn't know a soul there. And I was like, no, I can do this. And it's the best thing I ever did. It gave me what I didn't know was missing from my life. And I understand now what my kids do. Both kids are involved, have been involved with Graham Academy since the beginning. And it's a wonderful world to be involved in, and I'm really happy I joined, and you're not getting rid of me anytime soon.
And I think we're very fortunate that you found that love of community theater, and we hear that time and time again, similar stories to that, you know, you stop yourself for a certain amount of time and then you do it and find that whatever that hole was is suddenly filled.
Absolutely.
You know, a couple of years ago, we were talking to Peter Hiscock, community theater legend of Corner Brook, and certainly, again, similar story that, you know, he hasn't left, has been there, I think, pretty well every single year, which is just a pretty spectacular thing. So, and not only do you take the stage, you also help out behind the scenes as well.
I do.
What has that been like to kind of learn not only, you know, how the show works, but how to costume a show?
It's really fun, and I'm learning more and more each time. So I was able to be a part of the drama festival this past spring, and that was a very interesting experience, and being able to learn from the amazing Jillian Kiley, that was like, and just, it gave me more insight again into, because sometimes when I'm doing costumes, I kind of, you know, well, if you think that that's what's best, then, but now it's kind of like everything on the stage means something. So if I think that somebody really should be in blue, then I'm going to insist you're going to be in blue.
Yeah.
And it gives you a totally unique perspective when you work behind the stage and you're involved in the productions as well. When I go watch something now, it's never sitting down and just looking at the base, what you see. It's always like, oh, how did they do that costume change? Or wow, that costume piece, that must have been Velcro in the back. Or who does their maintenance on those costumes? Because I'm sure those beads fall off. Like, it's, your mind is just going, and it's like, how did that set piece move? That tree grew on stage. So it's way more versus, it's a more in-depth look at the magic, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and it is finding the fun again, you know?
Yeah.
When you initially go, it's like, whoa, and then you're like, oh, I am analyzing everything here.
Absolutely.
And then you're like, I'm analyzing everything here, and it's cool.
Yep.
It's like a three-step of finding
is.
that love in a different way, and I think it's so exciting to note, and I'm glad you shared that, because for those that don't know, you know, community theater in Newfoundland and Labrador is a pretty spectacular thing, partially thanks to the Newfoundland Labrador Drama Society that have held, since the Dominion Drama Festival, have held a drama festival pretty well every year, COVID break, you know, but pretty well every year. And it allows an opportunity not only for community theater groups to come together at various parts across the province, but also to learn. And to have someone like Jillian Kiley, there's always a professional who adjudicates and offers a workshop. And in this case, I mean, Jillian's adjudications were for workshops in themselves.
I fully have quoted her like half a dozen times in rehearsals, being like, should we do it this way or this way? The Jillian Kiley way would say this way, and everyone goes, yeah, that's the right choice. And I'm like, great, we're doing that.
Don't drop the arrow.
Don't drop the arrow. No, no blackouts. As few as I can.
Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty spectacular thing, and to see that applied so quickly, you know, after only spring last year, All of these things are applied, and I think everyone at that festival benefited greatly from Gillian's expertise and specificity. So, Mike, we'll move on down to you. Thanks for your patience as we chatted away.
Enjoying hearing the conversation.
But, Mike, of course, you're no stranger to professional theatre as well as community theatre. I guess the question for you is, what draws you to both? They're different, even though they're
different, but you're still, it's the same process in one sense. You're still getting to develop these characters and work with great people, and that's basically the key, right? When you're working with whether it's 3 or 4 or 5 people in a room on a heavy drama, or whether you're working with 30 people in a room on a really fun musical, you can learn from it. And there's always room to learn. And if you feel like you can't learn anymore, then get off the stage. There's no point in being there, right? So this is why I love doing community musicals, which is why this one has been a lot of fun working with Meaghan, especially. That was a big draw for me. I like working with new directors. I like Meaghan, obviously. I've known her for years, and she's certainly more than lived up to my expectations, that's for sure. And I knew she'd be great, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite so good. So
Thanks.
Well done on you.
Thanks, Mike.
Because it's a tough show.
It is
Like,
a tough show.
and musically, like you were talking earlier about, yes, it's the same thing ever, but it's not exactly the same. There are slight tweaks. The audience will see different scene, will see the same scene a few times throughout the show, but there will slight differences in it, and the way the music is written as well. The music phrasing and stuff is different for each time, so it's incredibly complicated. And between Meaghan and Jennifer Billard, our music director, and a great cast, we have, we're getting there.
Yeah, no, it's certainly, and Tim Minchin, for those that don't know, Tim Minchin also wrote the music for Matilda, which was a very massively successful musical.
Very much so.
Netflix, of course, did a film version of that. And the music is deceiving.
Very
it
much
is
so.
very syncopated. It's very modern, very conversational in a lot of ways too, but conversation is syncopated. It is not on the beat, and
Absolutely.
that's what makes it sometimes challenging, especially then when you have the group numbers that go against what Phil is doing, what Nick's character is doing. So you have these two rhythms that don't necessarily line up, but therefore must line up exactly, or we'll really feel they don't line up. So
And that's the other thing too. I mean, we've got Nick Hamlin and Katie Manuel in our leads. But the other thing is, Terri-Lynn was talking about how she forced herself to go to the audition or whatever, and we're all glad you did, because it's a joy working with you. The same thing, like we have people in Groundhog Day that have never been on stage before, right? People I've never seen, like in all my 30-something years of doing community theater here. So I think you're going to be, the great thing about these musicals is Nick and Katie are going to be great, because they always are. But then when you see people like Tyler Matthews and Melanie Small,
And
like
Lena.
they're going to blow this audience away, right?
Yeah.
They're going to just blow this audience away. And then you got your lovables like Glenn and Aubrey.
Oh.
That's who people are like. We're up there working our
They're gonna
butts off,
steal the show.
and Glenn and Aubrey are going to bloody well steal the show, and so they should, because they're brilliant and they're so much fun. But that's the great thing about community theater, is that everybody has a chance to shine, right?
Yeah.
And I think as an audience member, the ones that I've seen and not been in over the years, it's always been like, well, yes, so-and-so is in the show, I know they're going to be good, but oh, look, who's this person? I don't know them. They really blew me away. They're really surprising. And I know audiences are going to feel that way about a number of people in this show as well, right? So that's the exciting part. That's really exciting.
It is such an exciting thing, and you get to see people find that love. Or rediscover that love, I know, Tyler Matthews is a bit younger than I am, but we both went through TNL Youth,
Right.
At a similar time. So it's always nice when I hear a name that I'm like, oh man, we did youth theater together, and now they're working and have found their way back.
Yeah.
And that is also another layer of importance, not only for the people who haven't tried it, have viewed it, and then decided, I could do that.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Terri-Lynn said, she sat in the audience for Cabaret. I'm really hoping there will be people in Groundhog Day that'll go, that looks like a lot of fun. I want to do it. So the next time OPP or Canberra Arts does a musical and there's an open call, please
More people
get yourself there.
find their way.
You will find, believe me, you might show up by yourself, but you're not leaving that audition by yourself.
No,
You will have made friends by the time that audition is
a
over.
whole new family.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
and just
truly
so
amazing.
much fun. A lot of work. a lot of
It
work.
is.
Let's not minimize that, but it is so much fun when you're working with really good people. It's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and it is a great joy to see. Again, for those that don't know, Canberra Arts is actually hosting a lot of the rehearsals.
Yes,
Part of our mission is outreach, and outreach is there are few better ways to explore artistic outreach than to offer our space to community musicals and community theatre. So it's a great joy to see our building so active and alive with that, along with shows and all of our youth programming.
It's been a
It's
busy
amazing.
couple months in the building.
Well,
So
I also
welcome
think
everyone.
it's a great opportunity for the kids to see adults who have choose
They're
to do
trying
this
this.
in their
Yeah.
free time as well. And it's good
Exactly.
to see, like, oh, you know, I can still do this as an adult. It doesn't have to.
Yeah,
It
doesn't
doesn't have
end.
to end.
And especially the like, I can still do this without it being my career,
Absolutely.
and finding
Yeah,
a way
absolutely.
that's to still
Find
keep
the
that
balance.
if they choose to do something else besides pursuing theater.
Yeah. And I think what I love about a show like Groundhog Day, in a place like Corner Brook, is, you know, Punxsutawney is a representation of many small towns.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
And we as an audience, you as a cast, I'm sure, have noticed the parallels that exist. And that is so joyous. I think, you know, when I think back to when we did Music Man,
Yeah.
you know, that same idea, a small place, and you know those people. You look around and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just here, but different. And I think it's great because it also, within that, allows so many different people, like you said, Mike, to shine and have that moment. You know, there are tiny moments in Groundhog Day that repeat in different ways but it allows those characters to stand out, you know, and first they're nervous and embarrassed, and by the end, Phil has made them a beautiful couple, and
Yeah.
they're happily ever after as
Yeah.
he's learning their routines and trying to make the world better. I think it's a really neat, it's a really neat show in that, and I think it's a feel good show. You know,
Really
Absolutely.
is.
It's
And we
even the
really
darkness
need
is
that right
humorous.
now.
Yeah.
We do.
very
We need that feel good show, and I think it really has so much heart within it, and kind of, you know, Phil learns how not to be a jerk.
Yeah.
is you know, the simple part of that is that, but then above that he learns what it means to be good and how it feels to do good, which feels way better than being a jerk.
And there's something interesting too, especially as he takes that turn, where you realize he's doing good, but will need to do it. Like, he's doing good, but no one will remember that he did it,
Yeah.
right? So it's fully just for this person, for this moment, for this rotation.
Yeah.
He
No,
learns
it's
to do good without
wild.
getting anything out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's so fun.
So I guess as we head toward, you know, we have five or so minutes left, and I guess the questions on the show, you know, first off, Meaghan, when's the show? How do people get their
Important
tickets?
times.
So the shows are November 13th, 14th, and 15th, which is so soon.
2 weeks from today.
Oh, I didn't like that. I didn't like that, but yep. So yeah, November 13th, 14th, 15th at the Corner Brook Arts and Culture Center, and you can get your tickets through the ACC box office, either online or give them a call, or I think you can drop in. I think they have fairly regular kind of in-person hours in the afternoon. So yeah, you can drop in, give them a call, go online, grab your tickets. Tickets tend to go very slow until it opens, and then disappear and go really fast. So get them in advance so you don't miss out.
We promise you ahead of time. It is a good show.
It is
don't
very
need to wait
good.
for the reviews.
Yeah, it's so good and fun, and everyone's been working really, really hard bringing Punxsutawney to life. And yeah, it's just a ton of fun.
Yeah, and that is true. Corner Brook does tend to be a word of mouth place in terms of ticket sales, but these three mouths have said it's going to be a good show, and I trust them. So I do think, do try to buy in advance, try to plan. You got 2 weeks now, so 2 weeks ahead. Try to plan one of those Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, 13th, 14th, or 15th. Go out for a nice meal, support one of the local restaurants, and then see a show, and then go for some drinks after the show and support a local establishment again. I think it's really a great way to spend an evening as the darkness falls earlier and earlier.
Yes,
there's
clocks
no
go
better
back
way.
actually this weekend.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so note that for your rehearsal
we gain
schedule
an hour
now.
Yeah.
at least.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So as we wrap things up, I'd like to ask each of you a question, and that is, what would you say is your wish for those that see the show to take away from the show? Terri-Lynn, we'll start with you.
Of course. I think for me, one of the most things I enjoy about the show is just the joy that we portray as characters in living in this town. And we're just so happy to be here, and this is the best day of the year. And like, nothing can be better than experiencing this day for us. And I want to be able to share that joy with the audience so that when you leave, there's a little part of Puxatawny in your heart as it is in ours.
That's
Excellent.
a
There we
great
go.
answer.
Wow.
That's exactly what I was
That
going to
was
say.
like
Yeah,
scripted.
wow.
All right, Meaghan, moving down to
I think just the joy and importance of community. That was kind of my big thing going into this, was I wanted people to, feel ownership of the town and their role in the town. And even in casting, I remember being like, some of you get your characters' names from the script, and some of you don't even get your actual names from the script until someone says it. But even if you don't get that, I wanted everyone to kind of pick their characters' names and know that they are a part of the community of Punxsutawney, the community of the show, and kind of the broader community of Corner Brook. So just that, to feel that celebration of community and that openness.
Great.
Pretty much everything that's been said, and we've hit on the word community. That's what this show is about. Both the community of Puxatawny and community theater, which you've talked about is so important, but fun. Just like the first rule of theater is to entertain, and that's what we're going to do. Now, entertain doesn't always mean laughing and singing. It can be very heavy drama. That's also entertaining in its own way, but in this case, it's getting out there and having the audience look at this community on stage, both the community of the actors and the community of Puxatawny, and just enjoying themselves. And going back to our earlier point, hopefully down the road saying, I want to join that community. But that's the community thing is what it's all about. And that's the joy of this kind of theater.
Well, that's fantastic. It certainly sounds like something well worth getting that ticket. So November 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Corner Brook Arts and Culture Center, Off-Broadway Players are presenting Groundhog Day. And if you missed out on this community musical from Off-Broadway Players, Canberra Arts is launching its third community musical coming up in the first week of March. That's The Prom. We're very excited to have that show. And actually our director for the show, Edmund McLean, will be in town actually the week of Groundhog Day, funnily enough. But we'll be offering a chance to meet with him, and then our auditions will follow Groundhog Day. So for those that are like, oh man, I wish I tried for it, there's another one. That's the great thing, and it's a great way to break up your winter. Both of these shows, it's a nice way to have a warm space to build community, foster that connection. And I will note as well, right after Groundhog Day, November 21st, Jennifer Billard, who happens to be the music director for Groundhog Day, is doing a one woman, one piano show called Piano Woman, appropriate title. Really going to be a great intimate evening of music in our space at 110 Humber Road. Following that in December, our choir, the chorale and Silvered Voices, take the stage at Corner Brook United, and that is December the 12th. And on December 22nd, the Canberra Arts Annual Christmas Gala will be happening. That's our biggest fundraiser and our longest tradition. We'd love for you to attend if you can. It features a wealth of performers and a great spread of food as well. So dress up and celebrate. And going back a little bit, we will be at the Arts and Culture Centre on December 2nd, bringing home tenor Adam Luther and reuniting him with his music teacher, Katie Anderson, who's celebrating her 90th birthday on the Arts and Culture Centre stage in that concert. So dress in your cocktail attire and head out to that. Lots happening besides what we're doing at Canberra Arts. So check out the Rotary Arts Centre website. They have some workshops on Saturdays at the library that are completely free. Lots of great concerts coming up. Grenfell Theatre has a fantastic show coming up, the Caucasian Chalk Circle, as well as directed studies from the 4th year class. And of course, the Arts and Culture Centre has a lot of events coming up as well. So there's no shortage of things to do if you're looking for an evening out in Corner Brook. Just start scheduling it all now so you can fit it all in and not miss out. So thanks so much, folks, for coming to the stage
Thank
door.
you, Ian.
I do want to take a moment to thank our gold level sponsors, without whom this would not be possible. That's Herber Financial and White and George. Thanks from all of us at Canberra Arts and from all of us at the Stage Door, and we'll see you next week right here on Rogers TV.